7 suspects have been arrested and charged in the kidnapping, sexual assault, and murder of 20-year-old Mahogany Jackson.
Urban kidnapping and murder of Mahogany Jackson, the harder it is and more awful it is to hear.
Some of those suspects accused in her killing making an appearance in court today. Bria Chapman joins us now live with the latest. And Bria, the details that you heard today in court are disturbing and heartbreaking.
Keisha Davis says she denied all of these suspects a bond. Now, Birmingham Police Homicide Detective Mark Green says the first stop was the home of suspect Brandon Pope. Now, that's where Jackson was beaten outside while she was naked. Officers say some of the suspects beat her while others recorded the beatings. Now, Jackson was stomped and kicked, and then prosecutors say one of the suspects can be heard saying, "Put her in the trunk."
Show your face. Show your face, please, with sugar on top.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. We're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So, once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. Now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, today we have a very sick and twisted story about an Alabama woman who was also a mother that was tortured and later shot in the back of her head. What makes it even worse is to know all the people that were involved were her so-called friends, where it was a total of 8 suspects, being 4 men and 4 women. But there's many questions surrounding this case, and for me, the first question was, what transpired that made 8 suspects want to torture a woman who was also a mother and only 20 years old? I don't think it's anything in this world she could have done to get that type of treatment that was described in the reports. Police report says that Mahogany Jackson was handcuffed, stripped, beat, dragged, spat on, and even forced to perform sexual acts at gunpoint on one of the suspects. What makes it even wild is that the suspects aren't strangers or anybody that was an enemy to Mahogany. In fact, they were actually her quote-unquote friends. And no, it wasn't a case of wrong place, wrong time, or even like it was an altercation that got out of hand. This was a situation where she was lured in and everybody knew what was going to take place except for her. What makes it even more chilling is that there's video surfacing of the beating taking place because it was also recorded by the suspects. From inside an apartment where everything started to outside in the middle of the street, where she was then taken to the trunk of a car and driven away to her demise. So we're going to get into everything that transpired the night Mahogany Jackson was set up, beaten, then executed by her own friends. If this don't teach you anything, hopefully it should teach you that you never know who to trust out here, and even the ones you think are closest to you can plot against you and take your life. Now before we get into this video, hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm so we can spread awareness, and subscribe to the platform if you aren't already. Now let's get into it. 20-year-old Mahogany Jackson from Jasper, Alabama was discovered on Monday, February 26, 2024. Her lifeless body was found after being reported missing when Birmingham police would get a call at 2:19 a.m. concerning the body that was found underneath a mattress at an illegal dump site in the 1700 block, Laurel Avenue. The area of that dump site is also known as Dead Man's Road. When paramedics arrived to the scene, she was immediately pronounced deceased. The young mother suffered from a lot before losing her life, where she was kidnapped, beaten, spat on, sexually assaulted, pistol whipped, and stripped in the middle of the street before she was taken to the place where she was later found unresponsive. It all started on February 24, 2024, when reports say that Mahogany Jackson went to one of the suspects' home that Saturday night. The home, which belonged to the 24-year-old suspect, Brandon Pope, located on McMillan Avenue. Jackson thought it was just going to be a regular night chilling with her friends. At first it was, as they all got together, chilled, had a few drinks, where Jackson thought it would be a cool night out. However, everyone who was at the home knew what was about to take place except for Jackson. As time went on, Mahogany's mother would receive a text message that no parent will ever want to receive from their child. It was Sunday morning, February 25th, 2024, when Jackson's mother would receive a text from her daughter just before 8 a.m. She told her she'd been kidnapped and to call police. The message would say, quote, "Send the police. I'm kidnapped. Don't call. Hurry up. Apartment 3, Tay House." At the time the text message was sent, Jackson's mother says the messages came through at 7:46 a.m., but at that time, she was on her way to pick family up from the airport. She was caught in traffic and unaware of her phone, so she wasn't made aware of the text message. Jackson's mother also made it clear that Mahogany shared her location with her and her sister. When family members arrived to the location at Serenity Apartments in Southwest Birmingham in Apartment 3 along with police, they came across a woman that told Jackson's mother and the police officer that Jackson been left almost 6 hours ago from that location at 2 a.m. However, Jackson's mom knew that that was a lie because she had just received Jackson's messages at 7:46. Shortly after, Mahogany family would report her missing and begin searching for Mahogany. But in less than 48 hours, on February 26, 2024, Jackson was found but deceased with one gunshot wound to the back of the head a little before 2:30 a.m. That's when Jackson's mom would get the news and take to social media to let the world know, quote, "They killed my child." At this point, no one knew what happened to Mahogany Jackson, but everyone knew that it was foul play involved due to the urgent text messages that they received from her. It wasn't long before information got out there and a witness would come forward and make it known that there were videos that was recorded and showing what actually took place at two locations before Mahogany lost her life. That's when 8 suspects were quickly arrested as they all played roles into the kidnapping, assault, and murder of Mahogany Jackson. Those 8 suspects are Ariana Robinson, Giovanni Clapp, Blair Green, Brandon Pope, Francis Harris, Jeremiah McDowell, Sanaya McCall, and Tasia Lewis. All have been hit with different charges ranging from murder, kidnapping, sodomy, and assault. On March 4th, 2024, 5 of the 8 suspects appeared in court during the Anaya's Law hearing. This is a hearing where people with capital offenses are not able to receive cash bails in Alabama, and it's up to the discretion of the judge on whether a suspect should have one or not. In this case, 3 of the 5 suspects felt it made no sense to appear in court as they already knew their fate, and the 5 that did appear was also denied bail by the judge. It was during the hearing when Birmingham homicide detective Mark Green would testify that an unknown witness would contact police with details and videos of what actually took place. This is what led to the arrest of the suspects. Prior to that, police didn't have no solid information to go off. I'm assuming those videos that were seen going around on social media would play a big part as well. The witness will go on to say that there's 5 videos that describe what was going on, and even says that Francis Harris told him personally that he is the one that shot Jackson. The witness also identified everybody else that was involved in their roles. The witness says everything started at Brandon Pope's house, and then Jackson was kidnapped and taken to another apartment that Sanaya McCall and Tasia Lewis shared together. In Pope's house is where Mahogany was approached and accused of setting someone up after they've all been chilling together. Keep in mind that these were all her friends and people that she trusted. It was in that house where they approached Jackson, argued with her, and began assaulting her on and off during the altercation. Things would pour outside of the house, and that's where one of the videos would show as Jackson got beat to the floor, Lewis would get on top of her and continue to punch her in the face and head area. McCall would also kick her all over her body and spit on Jackson in the process. Lewis also took Jackson's shirt off and the rest of her clothes as she dragged her along the street. In the video, you could also hear Jackson telling the suspects, quote, "You won." hoping that the suspects would stop, but they didn't. Shortly after, you can hear McCall yell out, quote, "Put her in the trunk." And that's where she was taken to the second location. The unknown witness told the detectives more videos would be recorded there as well, where Jackson could be seen naked and handcuffed as she was assaulted more, slapped and spat on, and even pistol whipped. Even worse, officers said the suspects even recorded themselves forcing Jackson to perform sexual acts while they held a firearm to the back of her head. And to make matters worse, they uploaded it to social media. Detective Green says in the video, suspects can be heard telling Jackson that she's going to die. Now, there's more details about the sexual acts, but they are very, very graphic and disturbing, so out of respect for the family, I'll just leave that part out. After the last ordeal took place, Detective Green says Jackson was taken from Lewis's apartment by Pope, Harris, and McDowell. Police believe at that point, sometime a little after that, she sent help messages to her family. Then shortly after, she was fatally shot. When questioned by police about their involvement, Lewis and McCall denied knowing anything about the incident until they were shown the videos, and that's when they decided to speak on their roles. So far, police recovered 2 weapons, but they're still gathering evidence to determine which one was used as the actual weapon to take Jackson's life. Detective Green says they all have the suspect's cell phones and will be using it to find more evidence and seek a timeline to put certain events in order. Now, as far as the charges go, Brandon Pop, Francis Harris, and Jeremiah McDowell are charged with capital murder during the first-degree kidnapping and capital murder during first-degree sodomy. Giovanni Clapp and Claire Green was charged with felony murder, with the underlying felony being kidnapping or sodomy, as well as kidnapping and first-degree sodomy. Tasia Lewis was charged with felony murder. Sanaya McCall was charged with felony murder, first-degree kidnapping, and first-degree sodomy. Tasia Lewis and Giovanni Clapp has also been charged with second-degree assault once it was noted that they were the ones that pistol-whipped Jackson as well. They believe that Francis Harris was the one that fired the fatal shot to the back of Jackson's head. Now, Jackson leaves behind a 3-year-old daughter, and when it comes to this story, there's so many questions to be answered. For one, I wonder where was the neighbors and people at when this young woman was getting beat for a long period of time outside of the apartment in the neighborhood. There was quite a few of them, so I know they were making a lot of noise. So you mean to tell me no one heard all of this commotion going on and didn't think to call the police? No one seen a half-naked child outside being beat on, spat on, assaulted by a group of suspects? Maybe if someone would have called the cops ahead of time, it could have saved Jackson's life. And I can't lie, covering this story for me as a parent myself was beyond cringing. Because how does it feel to know that your child was calling you in a time of need and you couldn't help because you didn't even know? And then now that they're not here, it must be eating her up alive as a parent. That must be a pain like no other. It's traumatizing, especially seeing the video that's been put out there as well. So to any kids out there, watch who you trust, because everyone you think are your friends doesn't mean that they are your friends because you consider them one. This goes for older people as well, because this isn't the only situation where something like this have taken place. This happens more time than we think. And y'all gotta remember the situation with Kanika Jenkins as well. And in this case, they're saying that she allegedly set someone up, which is why they did what they did. But as friends, where's the proof? And as friends, why nobody took the necessary steps to ask questions and not just resort to taking her life? If that was really her friends, they would have handled that situation way differently, but they didn't. And now they have to face their day in court, and I'm sure they'll probably end up with spending the rest of their lives in jail, as they should. Now y'all jump in the comments and let me know what y'all think about this one. Condolences go out to Mahogany's family and her 3-year-old, and rest in peace goes to Mahogany herself. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'ma keep on dropping, and I'm out.